Well, I'm Sean Patterson, and I'm playing George in Peace in Our Time. George is quite a fun character to play, actually, I have to say, because he appears to be something of a dilettante, fairly upper class, no job. He says he has no job, but openly, I've got no job. Obviously, of a private income then, and he carries on with Lyra, who is this slightly loose cabaret artiste. They have what's described as an on-off relationship. But fairly quickly, I think, start to realise that perhaps there's something going on, something more going on, and perhaps he's up to something else. Once he hooks up with Dr. Venning, who is certainly working for the resistance, it becomes clear that they're both, as it were, agents for the resistance, partisans, whatever you like to call it, in occupied London. And fairly quickly, George clearly becomes head of this particular cell, and certainly very much takes over at the end as the invading forces, the Allies, close in on London. He's instrumental in taking revenge, I suppose, on some of those who have collaborated, and on those Germans who have worked as part of the occupying force. You spoke once, a long time ago, Mr. Richter, rather contemptuously, I thought, about our friends in America and our dominions overseas. They're on their way, Mr. Richter. They're on their way. You also informed us, most graciously, that your Führer believed the spirit of this country to be indestructible. He was quite right. It is. There is a code word in the play which certain characters use. When this term comes up, and the term is Dunkirk, were you at Dunkirk, it allows people to, as it were, hook up. So people who are part of the resistance will know that that other person was part of the resistance. And so some people who weren't in fact at Dunkirk may say it, and they say to somebody, don't I know you? Were you at Dunkirk? And then that means I'm one of the partisans, as it were. So it comes up a few times, yes. And I have a feeling, yes, I think George Bourne is probably the first person in the play to actually say that, and he hooks up with Dr. Venning, who's another kingpin in the resistance, as a result of using that code, despite the fact that I think in reality neither of them were with the British Expeditionary Force at Dunkirk. Well, George does have a couple of lines that are quite funny. I mean, he introduces himself as a Bourne, George Bourne, and has the line, Auf Wiedersehen, Mr. Richter. So there is, I think, an element for 39 Steps or something in there, a little bit of, or I think Greenmantle is the other novel, isn't it? That's sort of from that, kind of from that period, a little bit of an element of Boy's Own about it, which is fun.